Hey everyone, I finally saw 10 new movies that came out this year, so I'm updating my top 5 list to a top 10 list. Oh, before I get started, I am going to be reusing old footage from the top 5 video in the interest of not creating pointless extra work for myself. So that's why my hair is shorter, I have different headphones and mic, better mic, thankfully. And I'm in a different chair in a different position. Same shirt though. My number 10 is The Hunt. This one was a bit of a mixed bag. As a comedic action thriller, it succeeds with style and subverts expectations. Betty Gilpin and Hilary Swank are both great, and the rest of the cast is at least good. The action is well shot, edited, and choreographed, and I do like how quickly they killed off a lot of the characters. Spoilers. Emma Roberts was featured pretty heavily in the trailers, and I'm pretty sure she was the first one to bite it, which surprised me, so good on them. And finally, just the whole finale is great, probably the best part of the movie. Betty Gilpin and Hilary Swank play off each other very well, they have some good banter, and their fight is awesome.
Who, you don't really care about the truth, do you?
Of course I do. The only difference is I'm right.
Hey, maybe.
It's surprisingly realistic, and it also has some pretty good humor. Unfortunately, this movie was also trying to be a political satire, and in that regard, it missed by a mile. It's not really a satire so much as a farce. The attempted commentary on left-wing and right-wing extremists fails, I'd say like 80-85% of the time, and the writers clearly thought the script was a lot smarter than it actually is. This movie was trying to say something deep, but it honestly has the depth of a kiddie pool. That being said, I can appreciate that they at least targeted extremists on both sides and not just one or the other, so like equal opportunity commentary. Thankfully, that aspect of it didn't ruin the movie for me, and I think it's a lot of fun. My score is 2.9 out of 5. My number 9 is Underwater. A lot of you are probably going to be wondering why I prefer this one over The Hunt, and it's actually kind of simple. Two of the things I look for in a movie are how hard it's trying and how much it succeeds at what it's trying to do. The Hunt was trying to do two things. It mostly succeeded at one of them and mostly failed at the other. Underwater was really only trying to do one thing, and it mostly succeeded at that one thing. It doesn't exactly reinvent the wheel. The plot is pretty generic and it can be predictable at times, but it makes up for it by being a well-crafted monster movie. It does a good job of creating a tense atmosphere, actually right from the beginning. Like within the first few minutes, the characters are immediately thrown into danger. Now, unfortunately, that means we don't get to spend much time with them before they're thrown into danger, but we get to know most of them throughout the movie, so it's fine. The cast is solid. Kristen Stewart and Vincent Cassel both stand out, and TJ Miller has a couple funny moments. Creature design is solid, and we even get to see, well, okay, obviously spoiler alert, the big one looked pretty familiar.
Core meltdown in progress.
1 minute until meltdown.
We had 60 seconds.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Overall, Underwater is a pretty solid creature feature. My score is 3 out of 5. Next up, my number 8 is Bad Boys for Life. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a huge fan of the first two Bad Boys. I don't hate them. I don't think they're bad. I just don't think they're that good either. They're in between. They're so-so. They have good acting and good action, but they also have thin plots and most of the humor doesn't work. Bad Boys for Life isn't great, but it's an improvement for sure. This movie and Bumblebee are proof that Michael Bay is better as a producer than as a director. The plot is still kind of thin, but it's more coherent than the first two movies, so that's really all I can ask for in that regard. The acting is good overall. There are more character moments than in the first two movies, so that was nice. I like Mike's character development, the little journey he goes on, so to speak.
24 years ago, before we partnered up, Captain Howard pulled me right out of the academy. Nobody knew who I was. He sent me in undercover with the Aretas cartel. Sorensen, Weber, Vargas, Carver, all of the victims were on that case. This is revenge.
Yeah, Mike, but you weren't on that case.
My name wasn't on it. That's how deep I was. I was Ricky Rollins.
Benito Aretas. He's dead, Mike. He ain't after you.
Not him. His wife, Isabel. I was her driver. We connected so deep. We talked about everything. She showed me the whole game. How to walk it, how to talk it, put clothes on it. She made Mike Lowry.
I haven't seen the first two movies in a couple years, so I don't remember if either of them did this, but I like that this one didn't pull punches and killed off at least one major character. That was something I didn't see coming. The humor is better. Some of it still falls flat. As usual with Michael Bay, there were some moments in the action that completely ignored the laws of physics, but thankfully there was really only one that took me out of the movie. Overall, this is not a great movie, but it's definitely the best Bad Boys movie. My score is 3.4 out of 5. My number 7 is Sonic the Hedgehog. I love this movie. This is a fun movie. I do consider Detective Pikachu to be the best movie based on a video game right now, but Sonic the Hedgehog is number 2. I haven't played the games, aside from a super simplified version on my iPod Nano. Yeah, this was a while ago. Anyway, but based on what I know, the movie is faithful enough. Ben Schwartz and James Marsden both give solid performances. They have strong chemistry, and their interactions are a lot of fun to watch.
That's not good.
Sonic, I know you got the super speed and everything, but Maddie and I?
Totally defenseless. Probably gonna get blown up.
Pretty much, yeah.
Obviously, Jim Carrey steals the show.
3. Come on, rack your brain. You might be able to come up with some lame excuse to go on living. In 2. 1.
Wait! Don't hurt him!
He channels that manic energy that made him famous in the first place. Looking at you, Ace Ventura. And while he does go a little too over the top once or twice, his performance was exactly what this movie needed. Sonic looks great. Like the Pokemon in Detective Pikachu, he looks like he's there. And the way that light and stuff interacts with him is realistic. So solid CGI, solid design. And the action is a lot of fun too. Obviously, it's not perfect. Some of the jokes fall flat.
Oh yeah, baby! A Sonic 1, a Big Tank 0. I'm sorry!
Seriously, why the hell is Sonic flossing? There are also a few moments that make no sense. Now, none of them really bugged me that much, but they're there. Biggest example, Okay, so Robotnik gets one of Sonic's hairs, and he puts it in his little ship. And it allows the ship to move as fast as Sonic. That much makes sense. Here's the problem. Sonic can move faster than the human eye can perceive. So how the hell is Robotnik's brain keeping up with that? How the hell was he reacting quick enough? Makes no sense. This is a solid movie. If you have kids, they'll probably love it. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Number 6 is Greyhound. In hindsight, this movie kind of reminds me of Black Hawk Down in that it's really good, even though the characters aren't very fleshed out. Aside from the overall lack of character depth, the writing is great. Although I do find it interesting that we know more about Tom Hanks' relationship with food than his relationship with his wife. The action sequences are exhilarating, the pacing is solid, and the musical score is really good.
Hard right, runner! Hard over!
Coming in close! U-boat, starboard bow!
We slipped in under a gun, sir! We can't hit him!
This film gives us a conflict we've seen in plenty of movies before, the submarines versus the destroyers that hunt the submarines. But unlike most of those movies, this time we see that conflict from the other side. Usually we see that conflict from the perspective of the submarines, whichever side they're on. This time we get to see it from the perspective of the destroyers, who are hunting the submarines and trying to protect the merchant ships and all that. The score is 3.6 out of 5. Number 5 is The Old Guard. I went into this movie almost completely blind. All I knew was that it was based on comic books and what I read in the Netflix description. And that was it. I didn't even see a trailer, so I went in with no expectations, and it was a pleasant surprise. The cast is great, especially Charlize Theron.
I need to know he's okay.
That's sweet. What is he, your boyfriend?
You're a child. An infant. Your mocking is thus infantile. He's not my boyfriend. This man is more to me than you can dream. He's the moon when I'm lost in darkness, and warmth when I shiver in cold, and his kiss still thrills me even after a millennia.
The action is great. And I love the fact that they can heal, like Wolverine, because it means you can do all sorts of crazy stuff to them. Like, for example, have them tackle someone out a penthouse window and land on a car down below. The plot is solid, and it tackles some strong themes like survivor's guilt and the downsides of living a very long life. My score is 4 out of 5. My number 4 is Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. I've already discussed this one in my DCEU rankings, so I'll try not to make the same points here, but obviously I'm going to have to make some of the same ones. This movie has a very talented cast. Margot Robbie is perfect as Harley Quinn. Mary Elizabeth Winstead steals the show.
What?
You are so cool. Okay, this way.
And also Ewan McGregor is fantastic. The action is well shot and well edited. The humor is consistently great, especially the runner where Huntress is trying to make a name for herself, but everyone keeps calling her the crossbow killer because she kills people with a crossbow. And also during the climax, when Harley disappears for a bit and shows back up wearing her roller skates.
You okay? Gotta go this way.
When the fuck did she have time to do a shoe change? Come on.
There's another moment I love in the climax when the ladies are all fighting Black Mask's goons. And Canary's hair gets in her face.
Hair time?
Yeah. My only problem with this movie is that the pacing is kind of off. The movie jumps around a lot, and it can be confusing. A score for this one is 4.5 out of 5. Number 3 is The King of Staten Island. Pete Davidson is freaking awesome. I love him on SNL, and I love him in this movie. This movie is a hilarious and heartwarming getting your shit together story. Davidson and Bel Powley have great chemistry, and they play off each other very well.
Did you come?
Yes. Were you there? Yeah, I did.
Cool.
Like 6 times.
Awesome.
It was great. Did you?
No, but it's okay. I had fun. I had fun back there.
I know, I feel bad that you never do.
No, I do all the time. I just, I don't put on a Broadway show like you do. I'm more quiet. I'm more like Charlie Chaplin when I come.
Like silent movie.
Silent movie.
Do you think it's the antidepressants?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, if I didn't have the antidepressants, I'd come in like 8 seconds. And then you wouldn't come. And then you'd be depressed. And then you would have to take antidepressants.
Steve Buscemi is here adding an extra level of wholesomeness, and Action Johnson has a cameo which both progresses the story and is actually kind of funny. Pete Davidson's real-life sister Casey has a little cameo, which is part of one of the better bits of humor in the movie. This movie tackles some pretty heavy themes, and it does so intelligently and maturely. The plot does wander a little bit a couple times, and there are a couple moments that are kind of cringeworthy, but honestly, those are minor complaints. The score is 4.6 out of 5. Number 2 is Palm Springs. Kids, this is the story of how your mother met Jake Peralta. Like The Old Guard, I went into this movie knowing almost nothing about it. I was scrolling through Hulu at like 11 or 11:30 and saw it and read the description and decided it was something I wanted to watch, but I was too tired to start anything, so I watched it the following morning, and it was really good. Palm Springs is a well-crafted rom-com mixed with a pretty fresh take on the time loop concept. Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti are both fantastic. They play off each other very well. They play off each other like they've been doing it for years. It's great. J.K. Simmons, Meredith Hagner, Camila Mendez, and Tyler Hoechlin, I hope I said that right, they're all very good too. The humor is consistently funny.
Such an awesome car.
How close are you sticking to my sketch?
I stuck to it exactly. You're gonna love it.
Awesome.
Looks really cool.
Wait! Stop! There's a bomb in the cake. Don't worry. I used to be a bomb guy. Everyone stand back!
Oh my God! Try out! You son of a bitch! You ruined my plans!
Sarah, the sister of the bride, and based on her accent, from origins unknown. I'll take her dead or alive.
Put the weapon down.
Fine. Then it's to be hand-to-hand combat then.
Oh my God! Niles!
How's it going? Is it good?
Yeah, it looks really good.
And are the balls smooth and hairless like I asked for?
Yeah.
And are you getting the jizz right?
Dotted lines, straight across.
The writing is top-notch, and the fairly quick pacing and the 90-minute runtime prevent this movie from getting boring or overstaying its welcome. My score is 4.7 out of 5. My number 1 is The Invisible Man. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is a great example of how to remake a classic movie. Keep the most important stuff. Add plenty of new stuff and update the story for modern times. The Invisible Man does all 3 of those things. It is well shot, well edited, and well acted. The music is great. It is intense as hell. There is some solid action too. And just watching the behind the scenes for how they did the invisible stunts, it's great stuff. Tension goes up at the very beginning, and it goes up and down a little bit, but it doesn't come all the way back down until the very end.
Sid, come on, girl. You're gonna be late.
No, don't use water. No. Sorry.
And speaking of which, I love the ending. I really hope they do a sequel. So much potential. My score is 5 out of 5. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Do you agree or disagree? What's your ranking for this year so far? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, like and subscribe, and if not, subscribe anyway so you can tell me how bad my other stuff is. Since it's only July, I will be updating this list one more time at the end of the year. That's all for today. Stay safe in these crazy times.